Hey everybody, Talk here, and as you can see from the title, this is a deck profile for the budget. Really, only one way I can see to build this. Hyper Metamorphosis deck. So, there's the skill, of course, we're running Hyper Metamorphosis because we want to show up with a giant moth and beat the crap out of things we don't like. So, start with traps. I run 2 security orbs. That is personal preference. You can, of course, if you prefer and already have them, sub out for 2 windstorms, because windstorm is fantastic. I go with security orb because, frankly, I fight a lot of Amazonists, so they wind up blowing up a lot of my back row with the harpies, so there's usually another target on the field for me, so if this blows up, I don't get screwed. I like it. It's also like 5% the cost of Windstorm, as Windstorm's almost $3, and this is like 15 cents per card. Also a very nice card. Alright. 2 Corrosive Scales. Corrosive Scales are great. Not necessary for the win, but definitely helpful. I like them anyway. Also it makes it so they can't go punching your other bugs, which is helpful as well. 2 Dust Tornadoes. This is, these are $5 a piece. Trust me, I really tried to find a budget way to replace these. There isn't. Twister only targets face up. Night Beam is $10 a crack, and not actually a quick play, which is not helpful for what you want here. Basically, every other piece of back row removal in this game that is not monster-based only hits face up. This is the only one that I can find so far that hits face down. Maybe I missed one. That's possible, but this is all we got right now, and this is $10 for these 2, so they're $5 a crack. You gotta kind of just suck that up and buy those. Upside, you can use these in so many decks, which is great. I've yet to find a deck that doesn't like having Dust Tornado. I really like having it because the moment they drop down that Amazonist Heirloom, gone. Some equip spell going on Gearfried, gone. Some back row you just don't like because it looks suspicious, gone. Basically, you don't like it, it's gone. It's great. Alright, now we're into the spells. 2 Enchanting Fitting Rooms. Because this deck runs basically nothing but normal monsters. There's pretty much nothing else in here but normal monsters and something else to get out your giant bug, or your giant moth. Now, you can sub these out for things, something else if you'd like. I use these as sort of a tech option. You could, of course, or windstorms. I'll get into the side deck ones. You could replace them with that. If you really wanted to, you could use the, laser cannon with insect armor, or insect armor with laser cannon, or whatever it's called, the 700 attack one. If you wanted to do that, I don't really see the point, but you could. You could use Wicked Breaking Flamberge Bow, which would be quite nice, because as your giant murder moth of doom goes and punches things repeatedly in the face, well, now it's deactivating effects of things that it kills, so that's helpful. Means you don't get blown up by a Yomi ship or the extremely nasty blast sphere. So that's a thing. Oh, that's also what that's for, blast spheres. Watch out for blast spheres. I like Enchanting Fitting Room because it gets you some board presence again to help you capitalize on your giant bug, but your choice. Take it or leave it. Insect Neglect. This is self-explanatory. You're going to have bugs in the graveyard. You can then banish them in case someone wants to crash into you with an Amazonist Swordswoman. It's nice to have. I like it. I don't really see a reason to get rid of it, and I don't see another card that is as good or as versatile in this deck. I have seen several Moth Turbo decks, and I have seen none of them run Order to Charge, which I find very strange. So yes, Order to Charge is in here. It combos nicely with Enchanted Fitting Room because you will have normal bugs sitting on your field, probably, and so you can blow them up to blow up things you don't like. It's very helpful. Alright, 3 Kumotokos. Why 3 Kumotokos? Because he has 1400 defense. That's why. I mean, if we're talking about level 3 or lower normal bugs here, we don't exactly have many options. Because the other one is Alien Section. It's not great. It's a 950 bug. It's just got the highest attack, so, you know, do what you can. And of course, 2 Perfectly Ultimate Great Moths. You run 2 in case one gets milled. The odds of both of them being milled is basically minimal. Milling's not exactly huge, but it's a thing. As I said, Feel free to swap cards out for Windstorm if you want. Windstorm's great. You can use some Kunai if you want. Kunai is also great. Basically, as I say, pick 2 cards you like, swap them out for Enchanting Fitting Room. I like Enchanting Fitting Room. It works reasonably well for me. I might swap it out for Wicked Breaking Flamberge. I like Wicked Breaking Flamberge, so I might just do that instead. But then you're really bleeding through your hand, because, I mean, you gotta... Your hand already sucks because of this, because you're going to summon a monster. By odds, it should be a normal bug already. You're going to discard 2 cards out of your hand. You're going to have 1 card left in your hand. Unless you were unlucky and drew the Moth, then you don't have an opening hand, which really sucks. But let's get to your side deck. I don't actually have a full side deck here, but you can see it is. 2 Eradicating Aerosols, 2 Warrior Eliminations. I like Fighting Spirit, so I have this in here for in case I run into like a Arcana Knight Joker deck, so you can slap that right onto your Moth, and now your Moth and it are kind of on equal terms. Or if you had Scales running, you're now ahead. So good for you. So yeah, you just gotta hope they don't have something else in there. You can swap out what you want for this. I'm using this as a tech option. I might actually might replace that with Bow, frankly. That would be an interesting choice. But yeah, I'm going to be straight up with you guys, because I want to be honest on my channel. This deck is not exactly an amazing deck. It's not going to be the new meta climber. I'm not going to throw clickbait titles on things. I'm going to be straight up with you. I built this deck because I want to summon a 3,500 point giant bug beat stick. I've wanted to summon this card for a very long time. I actually, when I was young, had the whole combo for it. It was just impossible to summon the stupid thing, which made me sad. Because who doesn't want to summon a giant murder moth? Right? Is this deck bad, though? No, this deck's not bad. Hypermetamorphosis is okay. In the current meta that we're in, it's not great. You have an okay matchup against Amazons. I actually played my early version of this, which didn't have all of the moving parts in it, against a buddy's Amazoness deck, which wasn't the greatest Amazoness deck either. It was leaning a little too heavy on the Harpies, but, you know, it worked fine. It was a functional enough deck. I played well against that. I haven't played against Gravekeepers, but I know this has an okay interaction with them. What this deck sucks against is Burn and Stall. It has a terrible interaction with those two. Because Burn and Stall will blow up your bug. And there's also a lot of Eradicating Aerosol in the meta. This thing is everywhere right now because of the other Weevil skill, because there's several control decks that use it. It's not a great place to be, I'll be honest. And honestly, the more I'm talking about it, the more I really do think, honestly, putting Wicked Breaking Flamberge is good in here. That bears testing. That bears testing. I was using Fighting Spirit for a while in here, and that actually worked out fairly well. It's also really funny because you can get to absolutely moronic levels of attack, which is great. This is a deck that's primary benefit is it's cheap. Removing these, this deck costs like $5. I'm not kidding. That entire deck I have built here, discounting the side deck, is $15. It's $15. This is the 10. This makes it 5. It's an extremely cheap check. And frankly, you're going to have Dust Tornado. Let's not lie to ourselves here. I mean, there's no budget version of this. Security Orb's a budget version of that. Or Kunai's I think Kunai's $1.50. I think Kunai's a little cheaper. But there's no budgeting out Dust Tornado right now. You just kind of got to suck that up. But I recommend the deck? I find it fun. I found it to be an enjoyable deck to play. You gonna go storming entire tournaments? No. I think it's a rogue strat, though. I think this is about on par. I say about, not exactly. About on par. Maybe probably a little worse than Dragon Caller Blue Eyes. But again, for $15, and by the way, you can get all of these cards that I have in here, like including order to charge. Every single one of these can be got by purchasing just 3 versions of the Weevil Rex combo deck, which will also get you Heatwave, and I think Heatwave was $1.50. Maybe it was $2 per copy. I can't remember exactly offhand. It was definitely up there because of demand, because it's a good card for various strategies. But again, it's only $5. So if you want all the other cards, like you want all the Rex cards, then yeah, buying 2 of the combo decks would probably be worth it. But if you just want to run this, go on TCG Player. You can buy all of these, mess around with it as you want, and pick up your 2 Dust Tornadoes, and then go have fun. And I hope you do have fun. I hope that this deck is good to you. I hope that you have a lot of fun playing it, because I have a lot of fun playing it. So, with that being said, remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. Peace out, everybody.